Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the end of the Journey show on Channel S. This is the first of a series of programs that we're going to be hosting, and some of the topics that we're going to be addressing are very serious and very important. As I've mentioned, it's one of the kind, this show. We're going to be covering end-of-life support, terminal illness, and burial in the community. Every week we hope to bring in a panel of experts, people from the community, to talk about end-of-life issues, terminal issues, and hopefully, inshallah, we want to raise these important issues to the community, to you, because we're anticipating that the number of people who will be terminally ill, that will be increasing. According to Hospice UK 2016 research, there's going to be 250,000 Muslims who are going to be over the age of 65. Now, there needs to be a plan, there needs to be a strategy, there needs to be a contribution from members of the community. Now, today, our topic is end-of-life support. And with me, I have two special guests, and if I could introduce them or ask them to introduce themselves. On my left.
So I'm Dr. Caroline Moore. I know Abby's just said that we're experts, but I think it's really important to suggest that actually we're all experts in our family. And so I don't want to say that I'm a very special expert, although I have got experience and expertise. Then I think the most important things that I've done is be a family member.
Thank you. We're going to be hearing a lot from Dr. Caroline in terms of her passion, her contribution around end of life. Our next guest, can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Rapina Begum. I'm a trustee for Eden Care, part of 13 Rivers Trust. Again, I agree with Caroline, and we are all experts. Our experiences make us experts and make us passionate for what we want to do.
Thank you. We're hoping the show, if you watch it, you will find some of the information you can really relate to. If you feel that you need to really discuss further, we're happy to help you in doing that. Inshallah, our aim really of this show is to educate you all, empower, and one of the things we're trying to do, there are a lot of people who are unwell, and all is not lost. We want to empower them, improve the services so they actually have a good quality of life. So that's really our the three aims that I've mentioned. Now, I want to start with off with our guests, touching on our personal experiences. So, I mean, Rapina, within your family, have you had experiences of around end of life or terminal illness?
Yes. I mean, one of the reasons why we started Eden Care was because of personal experiences. I mean, I was quite fortunate to be blessed with triplet brothers at the age of 7. So it meant that me and my younger siblings, we didn't fight over which baby to carry, only to find out 7 years down the line that 2 of them had Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is a muscle deteriorating disease, and it's a terminal illness affecting the major organs and the muscles of the body. So, they were quite well. The doctors were quite impressed with their progression and everything like that. Sadly, though, one of my brothers, the eldest of the triplets, passed away at the age of 20 in 2009, which actually opened up giving heart medication to Duchenne patients. because at the beginning they wasn't giving them that, they were just keeping they were monitoring them. So my other brother, he was put on that medication, and, you know, I mean, 7 years on, you know, he's got his degree. He's still, you know, terminally ill. Every time he has a chesty cough, you know, you're like worried. He has to do his cough assist, which is put a machine on so that he could get phlegm out, because he's...
Yeah, but what you're saying, I mean, despite all his illnesses, he's gone and got himself
a degree.
A degree.
Yep, in business and graphics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the full title, but I do know that it's a BSc.
Mm-hmm.
Second honours, I believe it was. I mean, 14 months after my brother died, I lost my dad as well. That was quite tough. You know, he was generally a well man, elderly, 78, but he was well. You know, one day he just became ill. 2 days later, he died in hospital.
Do you think you were ready and prepared for your dad's or your brother's death?
No, you know, like, especially not for my brothers. But we had everything in place. You know, the doctors knew they couldn't do anything. So, you know, even though we managed to get him home, and we had a lovely 8 days with him, you know, even the death itself was such a crisis, because even where he was getting district nurses come, Mary Curie nurses, they were coming, the doctors, the GP out of hours, they were coming. When he eventually did die, they wouldn't sign him off.
Why wouldn't they?
Because their policy is, if they don't see the patient in 14 days...
It's not the policy, it's the law. It's the law.
So, well, we were told it was a policy that if they didn't see that patient in that past 14 days, they can't sign off.
It's the law.
So, yeah, so there we was. My brother had died at home on Friday night. I believe it was 11:31 at night time. Called the GP. They've come over and he goes, I can't. So it's like, hold on, if you can't do it, now obviously being a Muslim, we need to like sort out his burial now, you know.
Very quickly. Yeah.
You know, but we can't, because the law of the country is until you have a death certificate, you can't do that. So.
And why couldn't you get the death certificate?
Because the doctor wouldn't sign off.
The law is that they can't sign a death certificate if you haven't seen a patient.
Yep.
In their last illness, you can't sign a death certificate. It's illegal to do that, and
So-
no doctors will do that.
So it effectively means the best place for that patient to meet the burial need would have been at the hospital.
No, not at all. Because what you can do is that if you've got so I've worked as a GP, and if you know that somebody is close to death in your practice, then you will make sure that you've seen them every 14 days at least, so that you know that you can then sign the death certificate. But that still will mean that if they die on a Friday night, you still won't get a death certificate signed until the Monday morning. And
But we were quite fortunate saying that, because where my brother was in hospital at the specialist Lane Fox unit, his consultant there, we managed to get hold of him first thing Saturday, and he signed it off because, remember, he had seen him in that time.
Okay.
And because my brother was only home for 8 days, so because he did that, then it was like a race to the registry office, because they're open on a Saturday. A lot of people don't know that. They are open on a Saturday. So it was a race from like central London to like the Bow Magistrates just to get the death certificate, then getting the funeral sorted out. So going to Taslim, funeral directors, and sorting that out. I mean, when that was all done, I mean, you just feel so at peace, and that when the funeral directors, when they came and they took my brother down, you know, they took him down so like gently and so like respectfully, you didn't even notice, but they did it so quickly as well.
What I'm going to do, I mean,
Can I just
yeah.
say something here?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to be concerned about doctors not signing death certificates, but because the registry office is not open, I think it's really important to point out that they are open on Saturday morning, but they're not open on Sunday.
No.
So that if somebody dies at 2 minutes past 12 on a Saturday, that even if there's an immediate death certificate signed, then you're not going to be able to get through to the registry office until Monday. So there is always going to be a delay.
Yeah. Well, I was in a recent burial of Pascal, and he passed away, and we just missed the registration office by 10 minutes. So we had to have the burial on a Monday.
Yeah.
It is a race, and we will talk about these topics more. Now, Caroline, you were a GP, local GP in Tower Hamlets.
That's correct.
Can you please talk about your personal experiences first?
So my personal experiences, so I not only worked as a GP in Tower Hamlets, that my very first job was in Whitechapel. And so my very first job was with dying patients. It was with radiotherapy and oncology patients, so cancer patients, and they were in Whitechapel, so they're going there as a level 3 service. It's like they're kind of got very serious problems. But all of these people are going to die, and it was with HIV during the time when there was no treatment at all for HIV. So the first things that I learned as a doctor was about death and dying. And what I learned is not that this is terrible, it's that it can be not good. I'm not to say that I'm not wanting to kind of minimize how bad deaths can be, but actually you can make them as good as possible. And I really learned that. And so then I used that in the rest of my career. Because I wasn't frightened of talking with dying people and dying families, then lots of my colleagues were like, oh, Caroline, can you just do this and da da da. So I kind of like maybe got more than my fair share of it when I went along. And then when my father was diagnosed with a terminal illness, then I thought, okay, well, I kind of know loads of stuff about this. This is going to be handy. My lovely dad, I want the very best for him. And I realized that although I thought I knew quite a lot as a doctor, there was a ton more stuff to learn as a daughter. And so in the same way that I'd learnt when I was a doctor that you could have, I still don't want to use the word good, but kind of positive things coming out of it. You could have
Caroline,
positive things
what
coming
I'm going to do, we have to go on a short break.
Okay.
I'm going to come back. I promise I'll come back. So dear viewers, we're going to have a short break, and we're going to come back soon. Assalamu alaikum.